Folks, here we go. If you have small children in the hearing of this video, it's suggested that you remove them or view this somewhere where only you and other adults can see and hear. The seeing part is not going to be an issue. The hearing part, I am telling you, absolutely is going to be an issue. This orange orangutan needs to be put into a room with historical figures such as John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald, Sirhan Sirhan, John Hinckley, and of course the assassin who took the life of Martin Luther King. Now, you can draw your own conclusions on what they should do to this individual, but if I had a single wish about this racist ass, white supremacist motherfucker, that would be my wish. Now, I say that and am now addressing all of you black Trump voters. You motherfuckers need to be ostracized from the rest of the community because you dumbasses drank whatever Kool-Aid it was that this prick was pouring out, and you swallowed it and had a smile on your face. You swallowed that bullshit line about what do you have to lose by voting for this asshole. Well, let me tell you what you have to lose. And it starts with self-respect. Now, it is without a doubt that this prick is a white supremacist. He's a racist. He may not be a card-carrying Klan member, but he damn sure supports their ideology. Now, on Friday night, he went down to what is considered a southern state, the state of Alabama, and held a rally. And one of the comments that he made at that rally was in a derogatory manner towards Colin Kaepernick. Now, you may agree or not agree with the stance that Mr. Kaepernick took, but there can be no doubt that his protest of the conditions of the African American child of the sun male in this country is one of a precarious nature. He basically took a knee at the playing of the national anthem in protest to the blind eye that this country takes when it comes to the involvement of predominantly white police officers when they come into or interact with black citizens, specifically black male citizens. Was he jumping up and down and screaming? Absolutely not. His protest was one of respect, in my opinion. It was a quiet protest, a simple protest. He didn't call other people to protest with him. He stood up as a single light in the darkness. And for that, he has been blackballed by the NFL owners, who are a bunch of white men, majority, I believe, Republican, who have contributed mightily to the Trump campaign and to the Trump inauguration fund, to the tune of, I believe, $7 million to his inauguration. Mr. Trump turned around on Friday and stoked up his crowd by saying that if he were an owner, that he would fire anyone who took a knee or demonstrated any type of protest during the playing of the national anthem. Well, if you're unfamiliar with his history, this prick did own a professional football team in the USFL. And true to form, that football team was an abysmal failure, and he ultimately lost the team for financial reasons. So for Mr. I'm a total success and I can make deals about anything, that was a one deal that he failed on. But let me go further. He, this morning, went on to attack Stephen Curry. Now, Stephen Curry, who is a member of the Golden State Warriors, their championship NBA basketball team, had expressed reservations about going to the White House. And it was quasi-clear that he wasn't going to go, but he did not make an official pronouncement that he wasn't going. Well, Mr. Trump got wind of that hesitancy on Mr. Curry's part, and does or did what he always does when he gets jilted at the altar. He decided to break up with Mr. Curry before Mr. Curry made his official announcement. You go online, see it for yourself. He tweeted out that an invitation to the White House is a great honor, and since Mr. Curry has hesitated, he was disinviting him. Well, folks, anybody can go to the White House. All you have to do is pay an admission and go on a White House tour. The honor is in meeting the president, and more people are of the opinion that it is no honor to meet with this guy. Now, with that being said, various people have come out against him. And in fact, the NFL, for the first time in memorial, issued a statement which basically stated that Donald Trump was absolutely wrong in making his statements about the NFL. Now, you can also go online and get Goodell's actual official statement that was issued, and I leave that up to you. Now, in my opinion, what Mr. Trump said should strike at the heart of every single black or person of color NFL player, and they need to send a statement back to him by kneeling at the games this coming Sunday and Monday. They need to do that to let him know that they make the game not him. You're fired is not two words that can easily be uttered by the NFL owners, because since the NFL is approximately 70% black as far as the players that are on the field, if all 70% of the players take a knee during the playing of the national anthem, I would love to see the owners tell 70% of their players that they're fired. The game would be gone, point blank. Now, for all of you white Trump voters who are all pissed off at Colin Kaepernick and support the statement made by President Trump about having an issue with someone making a silent protest about conditions in this country, let me ask you a question. Do you have the same problem with cults in this country who don't abide by the mainstream opinions about most subjects? Now, when I say cults, I'm talking about religious organizations such as the Jehovah's Witnesses. They do not stand for the national anthem. They do not salute the flag. But I don't hear any major uproar about them disrespecting the flag, and I wonder why. Let's talk about another cult, the Church of Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints. And yes, that is a cult. Okay, look up the definition of cult and you will see that that's exactly who they are. Now, those are two religious cults. There are other cults. You have political cults. You have the Ku Klux Klan. They are a terrorist cult. Al-Qaeda and ISIS, those are terrorist political cults. But maybe the largest former cult, which is now mainstream, is the Roman Catholic Church. At its formation, it was a cult, but as the cult grew and grew and grew, it became mainstream established, thereby no longer being a cult, but recognized as a formal religion. Well, folks, I am so tired of this dumbass. I am praying that the special prosecutor Mueller gets the goods on this guy and gets him out of there. And I can only hope that he can take Mike Pence along with him, because he is a holier than thou, lying-ass racist himself. And if you don't believe me, you do your own research. Again, he has done some tremendously racist things as governor of Indiana, and I have no doubt that he would continue his legacy of racism if for whatever reason he were elevated to the office of the presidency of the United States. Now, Paul Ryan is third up, so I don't know if he's any grand bargain either. But again, it is what it is. Elections have consequences. The Republicans won, the Democrats lost. The Republicans have placed people in positions of authority, i.e., undercover Klan member Jefferson Beauregard Sessions. You have other people like Price, Mnuchin, DeVos, the Oreo, which is Dr. Ben Carson, and various others that, in my opinion, do not have the welfare of this country at heart. Has been said that what do men with power want? And the answer always is more power. So if you're in agreement with Mr. Trump on this particular issue, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. So I don't want to hear that you don't agree with him on grabbing women's vaginas and calling various ethnic groups by derogatory names. If you were going to go along with Donald Trump in his treatment of various people of color, in his treatment of women, in his treatment of religious groups other than his own, and I don't even believe he has one, to be honest with you. If you're against that, then you need to be against pretty much everything that this guy's putting forward, because if he's not a puppet of Vladimir Putin, then I don't know what a puppet is. And as more and more information gets released as to his dealings, his son-in-law Jared Kushner's dealings, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, this guy basically has surrounded himself with either white supremacists such as Steve Bannon and Mike Miller, or Russian operatives such as the people I've mentioned previously. I opened up with sticking him in a room with John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald, Sirhan Sirhan, and John Hinckley. And if they did their job, in my opinion, they would be performing a community service. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I guess I calmed down because I was hotter than a firecracker when I heard him attack Colin Kaepernick last night and then Steph Curry this morning. But folks, oh, I'm sorry, I left out Jamil Hill. But folks, think about it, especially you black people. What do those three people all have in common? Food for thought, you black people.